Hello and welcome to my channel Glen. My name's Glenn and this is my cryptocurrency vlogs that I've been doing since day one, since I started with cryptocurrency, and I'm about 3 months into it, I believe. So I'm quite new to the space. I hope that anyone who's joining cryptocurrency at the moment can go back and get hopefully some sort of decent information from my videos, maybe some help, some tips, where I went wrong, where I went right. But let me know what you think down below in the comment section. If you're new to this channel, please give it a subscribe and also give this video a thumbs up, so it all helps me out. Today we're going to be talking about the Envion tokens which I bought, which, if you don't know, are an ICO that I invested in from day one. I was waiting for him to go on sale, and again, it's all been documented in these videos, and it's been a bit of a bumpy ride, to be honest. I first invested in them, what was it, I think it was mid-December, and obviously now we're in the first week in February, and the tokens are finally looking like they're going to be available to send and receive and send on to an exchange. But let's have a little look at the markets before we get into too much of that. So obviously, as we know, we had a massive sell-off, massive dip in the market over the last 2 days. Today it's been up. A lot of cryptocurrencies sort of up, it doesn't show here now, but earlier on they were all up like 30%, 20%. Obviously they've dipped back down a bit now. But Bitcoin was up to sort of 8,200 at one point. Ethereum's up to 817 again. I just wish I had some money yesterday. But never mind. There'll be another dip, I'm sure. There'll be more. I'm sure this is what I see, what I think is going to happen. Obviously, there's a lot of good news around Bitcoin at the moment. So if you're from America, they had a big Senate of their securities, like their watchdog or, governing body, if you like. And they were deciding whether to, what steps to take going forward for cryptocurrencies and more so ICOs. And they were saying that cryptocurrencies are for sort of this generation, and that they shouldn't sort of hinder it too much and bog it down with regulation, because it's our generation's time to, get invested in something like a stock and a share. Whereas at the moment, no one's really interested from our generation in stocks and shares, because obviously that market has been locked down. I feel like it's for a select few. Whereas cryptocurrency is for the masses. So that was good news. There was really positive things that came out of that. They said they were going to clamp down more on sort of these pump and dump and ICOs that were just setting up and taking people's money, which I think is a really good thing, because people invest in lots of money into ICOs that they fully well know could just run off with their money. But imagine if we was in a space where an ICO was set up, it went through all the right channels, it went through all the right regulation, and it's half, it may not succeed because there might be other factors in there, but half the battle's won already, because they're sort of legit already. That would be an awesome feeling to have, like, oh yeah, I've just read what this company are planning to do, I'd like to invest in them, and they've been approved by such and such governing body. But saying that, a lot of the ICOs, because of all of this regulation in America, are not available to Americans. So a lot of the ICOs don't matter I don't know how I don't think they could, chase them down. They couldn't make them change their way of doing it, because they say in there this is not available to American citizens. So they've sort of covered themselves in that way, I suppose. But going forward, it would be good if ICOs did meet these regulations and say, look, do you know what, we've been approved by this governing body, they've actually gave us the go ahead. That would make a lot more people feel safe and then therefore think, do you know what? Instead of investing $100, I might be willing to invest $5,000. You know, I don't know. That's the way I think anyway. So I think it's a good thing. Obviously, the Lightning Network is expanding very fast. The amount of nodes now, I'm not sure how many nodes there are, but I think it was over 1,000 last time I checked. 1,720 nodes. So that's that's great. That's awesome. And I believe Coinbase are gonna implement SegWit, which is obviously the more security side. This is a layer on top of the blockchain. So if you imagine the blockchain running like that currently, this is going to be added on top. But a lot of people were worried about security features with Lightning Network, that it could be hacked or it could be penetrated in some way. But if SegWit come along and sort of SegWit are there, then the Lightning Network go on top of that, then it becomes a very secure method of payment, and a very fast and cheap one as well. So Coinbase to be adding SegWit support, and I believe it's this month. In a tweet on Monday, Coinbase issued the news that their customers have been waiting for months to hear, and engineering team has begun the final testing phase of SegWit of Bitcoin on Coinbase, which obviously Coinbase is the main way of people getting into. If you're new to cryptocurrency and you're watching my video, most of you will be thinking, how do I get Bitcoin? Where do I buy it from? Who do I buy it off? And the most secure and trusted way at the moment is Coinbase, which is an app you can download onto your Android or iPhone, or you can just view their website. You can put in a credit or debit card, although I think some credit card companies are a bit funny about cryptocurrency purchases now, especially in America. And you can just buy, whatever amount. Actually, there is a link down below. It's a referral link, so if you click on the link, nothing costs you extra, but for using my link, it's almost like a refer a friend. You receive $10 worth of Bitcoin, I believe, and I received $10 worth of Bitcoin for using that link, as opposed to just searching Coinbase through Google yourself. So I'll give you a bit of extra oomph. So this is really good news. So you might be sitting there thinking, Glenn, I don't understand what all of this is. So these are updates that come into Bitcoin. If you think Bitcoin was the first blockchain that was available, so it's about 3 or 4 years behind now, whereas obviously a lot of these other coins that are coming out, and I think these updates will make a lot of these coins not irrelevant, but not as appealing, because a lot of these solve the issues that come with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is slow. Bitcoin transaction fees are high. And these coins are coming out with like, oh yeah, as are instant, or as are this, quick. Add transaction fees are hardly anything because we've done it through this way of mining or proof of work or yada yada yada. Now, once Bitcoin obviously has that, and you can buy, and the analogy a lot of these websites are using is, can you buy a Starbucks coffee with it, or can you buy a coffee with it? At the moment, buying a coffee with Bitcoin doesn't make sense, because I know it's got a bit better in the last few weeks, but if a lot more people use Bitcoin, it gets bogged up, all the transactions get bogged up, and fees go up, the amount of time it takes to go up. Now, if I want to go into a shop and say, yeah, can I buy a coffee, or I don't drink coffee, so in my instance, a McDonald's, if I want to go and get a Big Mac, it wouldn't make very much sense for me to give McDonald's £5 worth of Bitcoin, because it would probably cost me, another £2 in fees, so it would cost me £7. And it'll probably take, half hour to go through, maybe an hour. At the minute, they are running a bit quicker, to be fair. But with SegWit on top, with that security, and then obviously the Lightning Network on top of that, it'll be instant, and it'll be barely any fee. So then if I'm sitting here thinking, right, I haven't got much fiat money, oh, but I've got £500 worth of Bitcoin on this app, contactless, beep, those sort of transactions can start happening very easily. And I believe it'll make it a more utility token rather than just a store of value. So at the minute, people just buy Bitcoin and hope that it goes up in value, and that's it. You wouldn't use Bitcoin to buy day-to-day purchases. At the minute, it's really the only way to buy other currencies through exchanges, although a lot of them are taking Ethereum now. But generally, that's the only use you would have for Bitcoin. But once this Lightning Network and SegWit, all of a sudden it becomes, do you know what, I might buy some Bitcoin, put it on a debit card, you know, because you can get debit cards now that just store all your cryptocurrency, and then they convert it for you into US dollars or pounds when you're paying at the till. That's awesome. I would love to have every month all the money I earn just converted into cryptocurrency, and I use that to live off for the month like I do with my fiat money, because obviously if I earn, let's just say £1,000 a month through my wages, and throughout the month I think, right, do you know what, I need £600 to live off for the month. The other 400 I'm going to spend 100 cinema and going out on the piss, and also I want to buy this and buy that. Whereas if I had it in Bitcoin, I could be sitting there with that £600 all month and be like, oh, it's just gone up in value. Oh, I'm going to go out shopping because I've just earned £300. Obviously, on the flip side of that, it could go down, as it has. So you have to be very careful. I suppose I'm just thinking aloud. This is Glen world. This is Glen's vision of the future of what Bitcoin will look like. But they'll help, Lightning Network and SegWit. So waiting for that. Once that hits, a lot of these other coins, you're sort of like, well, why do we need that? You know, I mean, like, you've got the privacy coins, but all these other coins that offer better speed and lower transaction fees, if Bitcoin does it, then they're going to struggle, I think. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Pretty much everything's up at the minute. It'd be very hard not to make money in the last 24 hours, although over the last hour everything's dipping back down again, so might be a good time to cash it out or change it into something more stable, I suppose, like Ethereum or Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's the one this year. I think that's the coin that is gonna, I think it's gonna be worth, I mentioned it in my Telegram group. Oh yeah, so I have a Telegram group now. I've done a video about it yesterday, but if you're watching this video, I set up a Telegram group. There's 20, it's called Team BitGlen. There's a link to it just below. You can follow that link if you've got the Telegram app, which is free. Oh, I don't know if you can see it there. Don't know if the video picks it up. That little one there, Telegram. It seems to be the one that people most commonly use, especially for ICOs. It's a bit like a WhatsApp group, but I don't have to give you my mobile number for you to join it. So you just follow that link down below. Anyone can join it. Everyone can start commenting. Lots of great feedback in there. All the guys in there, really good banter, good laugh. I've pinned a thing at the top, you know, be respectful, respect other people's views. If there's anything fishy going on, then I'll bar that person. If there's anything like bombardment of a referral link, or, you know, people trying to sell shit coins or scams, I'll bar them as well. I just wanted it for like somewhere where you guys can chat to me on a regular basis without me having to go through all my YouTube comments, for the more regular viewers, I suppose. So that's gone really well. I think there's about 23 members in there now, so I haven't even sent it to any of my friends yet. They're all just you guys from YouTube. So thank you for that. Some really good feedback, really good views. There's, you know, a guy in there that's really heavily invested in mining, so he's got a really good rig set up. There's another guy who's doing day trading. There's another guy who's, you know, doing the Envion. There's another guy, you know, everyone with these different views and ways of coming into the market. So if you want to read up on that, you haven't even got a comment if you don't want to, but if you want to join it and just literally read what we're posting, that's absolutely fine. I've got no problems with that. So if you just want to join just to see what we're talking about, that's absolutely fine. But anyway, that's that. So the market's doing really well. I was looking to try and sell my Verge coin. Verge is since I bought it, it's just gone down and down. Even before the market crashed, it was just on a downer the whole time. Where is it? And I was thinking, do you know what? I might just... It was only like $50 worth, I think. I think now it's worth $20. So I've lost most of my money on Verge on that in that particular investment, which at the time was free money because it was just money that I transferred over some Bitcoin that had gone up in value at the time. So I have technically lost Satoshis, but at the minute it's worth 5 cents. I bought it at 9 cents, so I've lost half my money almost on that. So I was going to maybe change Verge because it was on the up quite a bit today on Bittrex. It was showing that was one of the #1 coins going up. But I was thinking about maybe changing it to like one of these lower down ones, either BitDegree. My friend Nathan, it's literally since the day one since we got into cryptocurrency, he's been champion BitDegree. It's saying that he always thought was really good. I'm sure he's going to comment in the group chat in a minute saying, yeah, I told you so, I told you so. But BitDegree seems to be like a good one to go for at the minute because it went down loads in price, as did all of them. It's currently 13 cents. So, and this is a online university, if you like. But rather than you paying to do the courses, they actually incentivize you by paying you if you do the courses. Really clever stuff. And they accept cryptocurrency as a payment. So I could, in theory, I could set up an online course if I actually knew something what I was talking about. And then people could be paying in Bitcoin to watch my courses. So I think that's awesome. Had a massive price spike at one point and then dropped back down. So I don't know what that's about. You can see here it's steadily gone down, but I think that's a good one for the future. I've what's my other bet? So Hashflare. Obviously, I've been telling you guys I'm going to wait until I hit my minimum withdrawal limit, which I haven't hit at the minute. It's 0.050000 something. So tonight I should have enough to make my first withdrawal. Then I can withdraw that money into Coinbase, and then I need to change it into euros, and apparently I need to use an app called Revolt and change the euros to pounds, and then I can transfer that into my bank. I need to check that out. And if I do that, I need to play about with a bit of money first as a tester. So I'm going to do that for you guys to show how that's going along. But obviously the results at the minute are pretty shocking because actually, the amount of Bitcoin that I'm mining is the same every day. Just how much it's worth in US dollars, obviously, has gone down because Bitcoin's gone down. But the amount of Bitcoin that I'm mining every day hasn't changed. So that's really good news. Obviously, their fees, the percentage in it, if you work it out, is higher. But it's been like that for a little while now. So, right, let's get on to probably why you clicked on this video after 10 minutes or something. Envion have actually announced today, so they've been really dragging their heels with this. I think they got leaked really that they were going to be on HitBTC. That's my opinion. I don't know if that's true. So I think they came out and said, yeah, we will be on HitBTC. And everyone was like, especially in the Telegram group, well, when will that happen? When will that happen? When, asking loads of questions. And they sort of said by the end of January. The ICO finished mid-January. And they believe that a week or a few days later it would be on HitBTC. Their KYC process, they said they wanted to be really thorough and follow through with all the regulations and the correct way of doing things. So it's taken them a bit longer than what I think they expected, which has led us to now be in the first week in February, and they're still not on an exchange. So this still isn't too bad. Compared to the only other ICO that I'm a part of is Spective, which is their signature tokens, or Signal tokens. And they sent me an email, and I haven't really been following them that close, to be honest. Not that I think it's like a bad thing, bad ICO. It's something that I've just bought a small amount of, and I've put it aside, and I haven't even thought about it. They sent an email out saying the KYC process is all finished now. Everyone's tokens have been distributed, and we're hoping to be on an exchange or something like that. Like, I think next month or March, or something like that. And I was thinking, God, they're really slow. So actually, Envion haven't done too bad. Their ICO only finished about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, and they're already going to be on an exchange by the end of this week. So anyway, they put this link out, just letting everyone know it will be on HitBTC exchange. They're saying that it will be on between this Friday, which will be the 12th, I believe. No, but is it the 12th? The 9th. It's going to be on HitBTC between the 9th and the 12th, and that's not Envion's doing, that's up to HitBTC. So it could be there on the 9th. If not, it could be on the 11th, 12th, whatever. So we'll see, obviously, over this weekend, should be on HitBTC. Obviously, we'll see what the prices start going for. Hopefully, the market will keep steadily going up or stagnate, for a little bit, just so it stays at the same levels, and then the tokens go on. What I don't want to happen is Envion tokens go on sale on a day where everything's dropping, because I just feel gutted if I bought them at the ICO stage and they go on for less than what they were at the ICO, because then there'd be no incentive. I would have rather have doubled my Ethereum and bought them then. But saying that, Ethereum's down to where it was at the beginning anyway, so I'm just blabbering now. So on this page as well, they've also posted a video of their social media guy and them showing you that they're making the MMUs, and he just talks about it being on an exchange. I like these updates. Things like this reassure people, it makes them calm, and then you don't mind waiting a few days before you hear another update. When you don't hear nothing for a while, you start getting a bit itchy and like, what's going on? So they're saying here, investors who paid 70 cents when the ICO opened got a discount, but so did everyone who bought at the end of the ICO. The $1 price is a discount for a token that is projected to pay 161% return on investment on year. Even $1.61 is a discount, and here's why. So they've gone on to say, paying $1.61 might be a fair price if Envion had no third-party operations, TPO, and the buyer plans to give up their tokens after 1 year. Realistically, it's a huge discount for anyone who takes into account the possible profits from TPO operations and who plans to hodl for longer than 1 year. The token contract is minimum 30 years. So if you own these Envion tokens, they're saying that you're going to be receiving regular payouts for up to 30 years. So obviously this makes it quite a valuable coin to be holding on to long-term wise. And you got to think every payout that you receive, they deduct 25% of it. So say you earn $100 1 month. You're only actually going to receive $75. They're going to keep the other 25. But they're saying that a part of the smart contract is that they have to reinvest it into more MMUs and upgrading stuff and everything like that. So you're going to be generating more mining, say that time next year. So instead of receiving $100 each month, you're going to be receiving maybe $130 or $140. Then they take 25% of that, and then the next year it goes up. So it's like a snowball effect. As the longer you keep it, the more you're going to be receiving from this token. Now, these tokens are not on sale yet, and I am very aware that once they are on sale, and obviously I'm doing videos like this talking to you, it will come across, especially for people that haven't watched my channel from the beginning, that I'm trying to sell or big it up. Whereas I feel like these are the last few days now where I can actually talk about this coin and this ICO process as an actual spectator, and I'd like to think that you watching this can completely trust everything I say, in the sense that whatever I'm saying as of today, at this minute, at this point in time, I believe to be 100% true. later down the line, you could go back and say, Glenn, that token wasn't worth that much because you, back in your video 3 months ago, you said this, this, and this. But as of this point in time, everything I'm saying to you is true, and I've got no incentive to try and big this coin up. I've also pointed out a lot of their flaws. If you go back and look at my videos, I've actually done videos, is Envion a scam? Why have Envion done this? You know, I've tried to document the whole process from start to finish, not just all the glitz and the glamour, you know, like of like, oh yeah, I'm going to have 100x. So I hope that you guys get that from me. But obviously, when it does hit the markets, if I start doing videos saying, oh my God, Envion's the best thing, everyone should be buying it, and everyone should buy it for $20 a token, then obviously you could be like, yeah, Glenn sold out, and he's just bigging the coin up. But it'd be very also unfair for me to not mention Envion, you know, going forward. I will do videos saying, oh yeah, Envion have gone up to this price. Envion's gone up, Envion's gone down, because a lot of my viewers, not that I have that many, but a lot of my viewers have found me either through investing in Envion themselves, or they've followed me from the beginning and they've done it based on a recommendation of me investing in them. So for me to just all of a sudden say, right, I'm not talking about it no more because it'll come across wrong, you know, that sort of thing, I think that'd be unfair. So I'm still going to talk about Envion, but just so you guys know, as this point in time, I'm not trying to manipulate anything. I'm not trying to big it up, sell it, you know, nothing like that. You're just getting my honest opinions and my feelings of what's happening at this point in time. So they're saying that if the token was worth $1.61, because in the first year you're going to receive 161% profit on your return on investment. So one token, $1, technically should be worth $1.61. In my mind, well, that's what they're saying you're going to receive back in the first year. Then obviously with that reinvestment and also going on forward, they're saying second year it should be worth $2.25. Within 3 years, then it goes up and up and up and up. So they're saying within 2024, which is obviously 6 years away, they're saying that it should be worth $12.25. That would be lovely if it was. I hope it is. I hope it gets there quicker than that. The above model shows the expected returns using an annual projected profit of 25% reinvestment strategy on October the 17th, mining difficulty and market conditions. It includes 9% overhead costs for management, R&D and other company costs, and it takes into account the 17% of tokens that are not distributed. See white paper for distribution. Actual results can be higher or lower. The model is a sample of the calculation. So what they're saying is, we've based all these figures on when we did our white paper, because they can't go back now and say, oh, actually the return on investment is 220%. Because they've based this whole model and their whole ICO on 161, and I think it would confuse people if they did. So I think they're doing the right thing by saying that. And I honestly believe 161% return on investment is. When I first read that, I thought, well, that sounds, you know, it sounds insane. That's a lot of money to be return on investment. But actually, now looking at it, if you just was to mine at home, or even with my Hashflare account, you know, I'm hoping to achieve a lot more than that. And that's just cloud mining at a very small level. This obviously is going to be a mass mining operation across the whole world, decentralized. So I believe that the percentages, someone did hint that it would be more like 350%, I think, based on, at the time when they wrote that, and they did all their calculations, Ethereum has almost, or when it was at over $1,000, it had tripled in price. I think Bitcoin had doubled in price. All the other coins had doubled, you know. So a lot of it's changed since October 2017. But saying that, obviously we've had this massive dip, and now we're back up to sort of end of October, beginning of November levels. So actually, the return on investment's probably right as it is. So you can see from this chart that Envion tokens could be worth 13 times more, blah, 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 over the course of a long period of time. So they're saying that this token really is its most valuable the longer you hold on to it. So I've got this spreadsheet that you can click on, which I've done, and I've had a little read of it. And the way they set it up actually was that based on someone owning 1,000 tokens. So they're telling you whether it's worth selling or to hold on to your tokens. And they're saying that if you had 1,000 Envion tokens and the return on investment is based on 161% every year, in the first year you would receive a return on investment of $1,610. $402 of that would be taken out for reinvestment and also those management costs and R&D. So actually you would be cashing out at £1,207. So I suppose really it's a bit cheeky of them. You're not actually receiving 161%, you're actually probably receiving 120%. But that's how much you would receive year one. Then obviously you've reinvested without realising. So when you get to year two, they're saying your return on investment should be 2.2. Now if you add and then they take off their 25%, and then you're left with 1.6. So this column here is adding up what you've earned each year on top of each other. So if you was to, accumulate it, if you like. So they're saying, let's just look at annual cash out. So they're saying second year, 1.6, then it goes 2.3, 3.3, 4.6, 6.5, yada yada yada, and it goes all the way up. Now, these figures start to get ridiculous, and I can't ever imagine them being like this. And again, this is why I'm saying I'm being honest, because these are very good figures, but I just can't see. I can't see how they'd be that much. So they're saying if you owned 1,000 tokens after 27 years, you would be receiving at the end of that year $7,968,228, which if you if you keep adding that on to what you earned in the previous years, they're saying up to that point, at the 27 years, you would have earned 27 million at that point. Now, if you hold on to them for 30 years, it's saying you would earn 76.5 million. Yeah, all right. And that's based on obviously a return on investment of 161%. So if it is more than that, then I just can't see it. I really can't see it. But then saying that, if Bitcoin does go up to, you're talking in 30 years' time, what's Bitcoin going to be worth in 30 years' time? It could completely crash. It might not exist. But, obviously like this John McAfee and people like that, and they're saying, oh yeah, it'll go to 1 million. If Bitcoin was worth 1 million and Ethereum was worth, 25,000, I don't know, or 100,000, then I could see these figures being like achievable. But as it stands at the if the difficulty and the price stays as it is, and bearing in mind the Bitcoin halves every so often, and Ethereum is changing to proof of stake sort of mining operation. So I know they'll mine all the other coins, but then I believe though a lot of those coins will die out. So I don't know. I just really don't know. I mean, I'm only looking at like the first 2-3 years, to be honest. That's my goal. Like if I earn £5,000 in 3 years from a £1,000 investment, then that's great. I mean, these are all based if you own 1,000 tokens. I own 3,200. So it's, according to this, I'm going to earn £245 million dollars, within 30 years. I'm laughing. I'd love it. I'd absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't earn that much. As soon as it got anywhere near 1 million, I'd probably sell. Because that is based on them predictions. It looks like Envion is the most valuable security token on the market Because it is a, you got to think really, forgetting these figures, because obviously they're completely wild when you start multiplying them like that. It is a good business model, isn't it? You got to think, you know, there's a lot of business models out there like, oh yeah, advertising, marketing, recruitment, you know, even that bit degree, you know, they need regular customers, they need to have no bad press, they need to be accountable for themselves. There's a lot going on there, whereas I understand this is mining. You know, they're going to be mining for you on a grand scale. And yeah, I can see the price of coins going right up. But then I can also see the difficulty going right up, and I can see a lot of the equipment that Envion provide is not going to cut it. So they're going to have to keep reinvest. So it does make the business model does make sense. I get it, and I can see it working. And I can see it working for a long period of time. So yeah, I can see really good investment returns on this. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear all your thoughts, because this video is going on for quite a bit now, so I need to try and wrap it up. So at the minute they've got 2 MMUs as of January 2018. They've started making, obviously the ICO only finished 3 weeks ago. So they're projecting that by July 2018 they're going to have 606 MMUs out in the wild. So projected mining operations so far, January, they're saying that they've earned $44,279 and 43 cents. And in July, so that's only, I mean, we're in mid-February now, so you've got March, April, May, June, July. So you're talking in the next 6 months, or just below, sorry, 5 months. They're saying that the MMUs that they're going to have, they're saying those MMUs are going to generate $13.4 million worth of mining, which again I think is really realistic. So let's do some calculations. So if they're saying that their 2 units that they've got are generating 44,279 US dollars per month, let's divide that by 2. So that means each unit is earning $22,000. We're going to times that by, what they say, 606 is the amount of units they're saying they should have by July. So that comes to 13,416,537. So obviously that's how they've worked that out actually. So I think that's realistic figures, to be honest. You know, in those containers that they've got, you've got a good chunk of, you know, Antminer S9s, which we all know that if you're in the mining world, they earn sort of a few $1,000s worth each per month. And then obviously the GPUs, and they're going to be using, I assume, NiceHash to mine different softwares, different coins, and then convert them into Ethereum. So I can, to me, it seems like a realistic figure. So if they're going to be earning 13 million with 606 MMUs, I believe their goal was to eventually make over 1,000. So you're talking about doubling that. So then you're talking about 26 million within a year. So say there's 26 million. Let's say 27 actually. There'll be 27 million pounds being generated each per month by the MMUs, and we're going to divide that by how many tokens there are, 127 million. So you're looking at 21 cents per token. So for someone like me, and this is per month, times that by how many tokens I've got, so then I'm generating $608 a month. That's based on if the price of Ethereum was in October 2000, or based on their white paper. So if we actually click this link down below here, this was all their calculations, and I'll post this link in the video when I upload it to YouTube, so you can check this out yourself. This was based on Ethereum, the US dollar rate being at $4,000. Obviously at the minute even with the big crash, that's double that. So you've got to, I know it's hard to say, but you know, you've got almost double their figures. They're saying Bitcoin 8,000, which is where Bitcoin is at now, oddly enough. So obviously with that crash, so that's still good though for us, because obviously the figures are not drastically wrong, really. This is how much they're going to pay per electricity, how much of the shares of the MMUs are going to be distributed. This was based on them having 1,003 MMUs. Obviously, it's going to take them, I assume, a whole year to actually get that amount up and running. How many with GPUs, how many with ASIC miners, so 27 ASIC miners in there, with 27 rigs based on 13 GPUs in each rig, I believe. They've based their hash rate on 13.5 terahashes per ASIC, which is about right, actually. Monthly revenue, 597. Again, that was about right, but based on the difficulty then, the difficulty is higher now, so probably a bit less than that, I would say. And then they've got the graphics cards and how much each unit's going to be making, how much each unit costs. So they're saying 103,000 per MMU unit that's made. So they've gone into real big depth here, and they've said, based on their findings, they believe they're going to achieve more than the 161% return on investment. I believe they put something in here about 180%, but they're still going to only quote 161 because that's what they quoted people at the beginning. And it's good that they've done that. They haven't changed their stance, because crashes like the one the other day just proves that it's all well and good saying, yeah, this is always going to go up, but it's not. It's going to go down. You know, and they based it on Bitcoin being worth 8,000, and oddly enough, today it's worth 8,000. Ethereum is double what they said, and hopefully it'll be triple within the next week or so, because it'll go back up to the sort of 1,200 mark. So therefore, then really, because they're paying you out in Ethereum, don't forget. I would like to think that that return on investment of 161 is going to be a lot higher. That's my opinion. Let me know what you think down below. And that's it really, guys. So for me, for me to sell my tokens, someone would have to offer me, if I'm going to be earning, well, I can't remember the figure we just said, but if I'm going to be earning $500 a month, you know, I'm not going to sell my tokens for, I mean, what's that? 3,200, no, 500 divided by 3, 2, 50. So really, I'm not going to be looking at selling my tokens anything below $7, just because in 6 months' time I'm going to be earning that per month off the tokens I've got. So for me, I'm going to hold on to these guys until they're worth a lot more than $7, really. That's my thoughts. Let me know what you think down below. If you think my calculations are completely way off, or I've done something wrong, please call me out on it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Obviously, I'm just basing this on information that Envion are giving me, so obviously it's going to be a bit biased. So let me know what you think. I'll try and copy and paste this link so you can check it out yourself, and I'll put it in the video description down below. I've already put it into the Telegram group, so all the guys have read through that. And really, I haven't asked them their thoughts on it yet. So, yeah, really exciting times. Obviously, if this spreadsheet is to be believed, obviously I'm basing all these figures in 6 months' time, because to me that's all I can base it on. But their figures of, you know, earning £1 million a year, to at that point, that's That's in 14 years' time. If I was earning £1 million a year, you divide that by 12, you know, you're talking about $100,000 a month. Obviously, then you wouldn't be selling your tokens for you wouldn't accept anything below like $1,000 per token, would you? Because, you know, I don't know. We'll see. We will see. So let me know what you guys think down below. Please comment. Please subscribe to this channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I've sort of been stuck between 600 and 650 for quite a while now. So hopefully get a big push of subscribers. Try and get that past that 1,000 subscriber mark. Give this video a thumbs up. Join me on the Telegram group chat. If you've watched this video and you really want to get in touch with me, Telegram's pretty much instant. You can click on that link, send me a message, and I'll read it tonight. If not, you can obviously just go through, comment on the YouTube videos, and I'll have to get back to you whenever I check my YouTube app next. So that's it from me, guys. Any questions, let me know, and I'll see you on the next episode of Big Glen. Bye.